Welcome, welcome. It is that time of year. Fantasy football is upon us. You're getting ready for drafts. I'm Paul Catalina. He's Steve May. This is the Fantasy Football Show on the 365 Sports NFL channel and the 365 Sports Cowboys channel. So we're going to throw these all on there and just give you our thoughts on fantasy football week to week, including doing an hour or so long live show each week on Wednesday nights, which it's the highlight of Steve's week. I mean, he just likes being here with me that much.
I have nothing else to do. Yes.
There's nothing else to do.
Yep.
But he's here. Steve, the commish, joins us, and we'll also have Grayson Grundhafer, Jacob Wilson producing this year. But wanted to give you some primers. We haven't done this before, Steve,
right,
on giving people primers before. And so we wanted to keep it kind of concise so they could go position by position and see what we're going to do here. And then, watch these videos, get ready for your draft. Hopefully you haven't, to me, this coming weekend is when the draft really should start. I believe in waiting 2 preseason games, because then you'll know which of the people you would want to draft is truly hurt, because they're not going to play in the third one.
Yeah, I think officially, unofficially, they declare this coming weekend to be the draft weekend. You get the second preseason game, but a lot of people have already been drafting best ball leagues. We'll probably talk about it later, but I got into the Scott Fish Bowl, which is a big national tournament. So we had that draft back in July.
But that is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So you kind of need the lead time.
Yeah.
to deal with that.
It was a slow draft. It literally took a week for everybody to draft. But so everybody's in different stages, but this weekend should be the main weekend.
Yes. So you and I are in the league together, and we have our draft 1 week from Saturday.
Yep.
So very much looking forward to that. And look, if your restaurant here in the Central Texas area has a private area and would like to host us, we're available.
We are available.
We're available.
Yep. You just need a private room and a nice big TV for us, and we'll might give you a free plug here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll absolutely do that. We're available, and we'll update people on the league throughout the year and how that goes. We'll do a lot of daily fantasy stuff as well, but this is more or less for your traditional leagues.
Yes. So I got the itch for a little DFF tonight. So for the first time ever, I'm actually doing a captain showdown on the preseason game tonight.
Okay. You have a problem, sir.
Yes.
There are people who can help.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Geno Smith, baby. He's my captain.
Okay. Okay. Oh, well, speaking of quarterbacks that you'd want to draft, that's what this segment will be about, is the quarterbacks. So Steve will give you his rankings. I'll give you who I'm very bullish on this year. But Steve, go ahead and let's rattle off some guys here and get into it.
Yeah, sure. So pretty much now everybody that's played fantasy football for a while, and even if you're a newbie, breaking the quarterbacks down into tiers is really kind of how everybody does it now. Just kind of a group of quarterbacks that are all going to kind of be equal when the season's over. So you'd be happy getting any of these at a certain point in the draft, and then a tier 2, tier 3, and so on. So for me, there's 4 clear quarterbacks that are in the tier 1. That would be Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and my number 4, my surprising folks, Lamar Jackson, just because you get the running yards with him. So those are my top 4 in the top tier. Tier 2 for me would be Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Tom Brady. And then tier 3, just real quick, would be a bigger group, all kind of the same. Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Trey Lance, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, and Derek Carr.
All right, I'm going to debate you on 1 and tier 3.
Okay.
I think he needs to be up a tier.
Okay.
Russell Wilson.
Well, he's right there. He's borderline tier 2, tier 3.
Okay,
yeah.
Because I think he's going to have a fantastic year.
Yeah.
His receivers are young and really good, and they haven't had a quarterback yet.
Yep.
Cortland Sutton is healthy. He's taken Jerry Jeudy under his wing. Now, he did lose Tim Patrick, I believe.
Yes.
But they have some depth at that position. Tight end's a bit of a wild card for them because they had to trade the good tight end they had to Seattle to get Russell Wilson. But I like the offensive line. I like the running backs.
Yep.
They have a lot to work with there. And that's going to be a great division. I love Russell Wilson this year.
Yeah, and that's tier 3. Those are the quarterbacks I want. I'm not now back to the Scott Fish Bowl real quick. That's a 2 quarterback league, super flex. So quarterbacks went early in that one. So I got Justin Herbert really early in that one. But all my standard PPR, non-PPR leagues, I'm not taking a quarterback early. So I want at least one of these tier 3 quarterbacks, which they should, unless your league just drafts really odd. Which, every league has that kind of oddball owner that will take a quarterback way too soon. But yeah, if I get Wilson, Prescott, Lance, Matthew Stafford, or Aaron Rodgers, in that 5th, 6th, 7th round, I'm going to be really, really happy.
Yeah, I only take one of those guys when I am in a position draft-wise where it's like the 3rd or 4th round, and like, are you kidding me that, so-and-so is still here? I might as well just take it now. But I have to have had 2 skill position or 3 skill position players before I even think about it.
Yeah.
And those guys better be pretty darn good to offset that. Because, again, you can win with quarterbacks on the different tiers than you can't necessarily do with running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah. Another one, he's not in my tier 3, but I could see at the end of the year being up there, Matt Ryan. I think that team just really needs a good quarterback. So I have him down in the next tier, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was up a little bit higher. Before we started taping, we were talking a little bit about Deshaun Watson and the news today about what that does. He's going to miss the first 11 games. You don't draft him unless your league has a really big bench and you can sit him there and stash him. But those bench spots are really valuable if you're in a very competitive league where everybody's going to the waiver wire every week and cleaning up there. So I would leave Watson alone. And then, when he gets ready to come back and you're getting ready for the playoff run, put in a bid for him, try to get him on waivers. But I would not waste a draft pick on him.
No, and look, I will venture to guess that I don't think he's going to play well in the 6 games when he comes back.
I don't either.
This is a guy who his disgusting and trashy behavior has kept him out of the league for now almost 2 years. So I would think 2023 is probably more of your year with Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
We talked about it at the end of the show today, or our Second 360 radio, and it's the most dumbfounding move, I think, in the history of the NFL, what the Browns did and how much money they gave him.
If you were to pick one team that would do that,
it's the Browns.
It's the Browns.
Yes. It's the Browns. The Browns.
It's insane. Yes.
It's insane. And yeah, we talked about, like, if I'm the Browns, I'm like, yeah, you can have all the massages you want from Dennis, like that guy.
Dennis. Don't bash on Dennis.
No, I'm just saying that's where it's going to. You're not doing it on your own. You're not. It's ridiculous.
Another quarterback. Just want to get your opinion on. I've drafted him in some leagues because I do think he's going to be traded. Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Cleveland's going to make a move for him. I think they're happy with Brissett for as long as they need. But I still think that Garoppolo will be a starter. So he's a really sneaky late pick. Do you think he's going to get traded?
I do. I think they're holding on to him as long as they can. And plus, he's hurt right now, so there's no rush to trade him. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the first major quarterback injury the call goes to.
Yeah.
I
thought it would have happened already. That was kind of what I was thinking.
But I think because he's injured, and coming back from that, I think it gives teams just like they can wait, and then if their guy tears his ACL, they can go, okay. Because they're not ready. Like the Jets, like there was that scary moment with Zach Wilson, but they're pretty, I think they'd be fine with Joe Flacco and just take out another storm and get another high draft pick.
You're the first person in probably 10 years that's ever said that they'll be fine with Joe Flacco.
I mean, they're fine. They're like their personnel department won't go out and make like a big trade because they're trying to load.
I like the Jets this year. They got some really good skill positions. And so when that happened to Zach Wilson, I was like, oh, man. Again, another team where you just know something bad's going to happen to them and the Browns. But,
absolutely. All right, so on that top tier, who's the one who would make you break your I'm not drafting until tier 3 promise the most?
Like if they fell?
Yeah. If they fell into your, in the little, temptation zone for you.
If Lamar Jackson was still there, not the top 3. So in the league we play in.
Yeah.
Mahomes is going to get drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
I know. It's a 12-team league, and no matter how often we tell people don't draft a quarterback that early, somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
So Mahomes is going to be gone. Josh Allen will either be gone early first or early second round. It's just going to happen. So if Lamar Jackson was still there, it'd have to be fourth round for me. If he was still there, I'd probably make a move.
Yeah, because, again, like I said, Josh Allen, not going to be there.
No. And like I said, I guarantee I would bet money right now that both Mahomes and Allen will be drafted in the first round.
It would be an interesting study to see how many people have the two most productive quarterbacks, but the least productive rest of their rosters because they did go for them too early.
Yeah.
Now, if your scoring system is different and for somehow it behooves you to do that, then by all means do it. But yeah, so do you have anybody outside of Deshaun Watson that you would say, do not touch this guy with a 10-foot pole?
This is an obvious one. The Carolina situation with Mayfield and Darnold, I think that's a mess. I think as much as I like Matt Rule, I don't think he survives past the halfway point of the season. And so I wouldn't touch either one of those. I'm not huge on Tannehill. I never am on Tannehill. But I do think Malik Willis at some point this year will end up being the starter there as well. So those would be situations that I would avoid.
I don't think Malik Willis starts until next year, but
I don't know. It's going to depend on how well they're doing.
Well, and it also depends on how well Derrick Henry, how healthy he is.
Yeah.
As Derrick Henry goes, so go the Titans, really. They were a dominant team until he got hurt, and then he came back, and so they still were the number one seed in the AFC last year with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. So
I think whoever wins that AFC South division is probably going to end up with a record of 9-8 or 10-7 at the best. So if Tennessee is treading water there and they can see they can make a move, I could see them going on to Willis. So.
Yeah, that is an interesting division. The AFC West is going to be the best division this year, maybe in all of football. When the worst team might be the Raiders, and I think that they're actually better this year. It just depends on how head coach McDaniels does in the second time around.
Right. I mean, there aren't a ton of rookie quarterbacks that are going to make a big impact this year.
Kenny Pickett maybe later, but Mitch Trubisky's going to play early.
I could actually see Pickett starting week 1 or week 2 there. I mean, he's the quarterback of the future. Trubisky definitely is not.
The organizational plan, though, was to sit him a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think it won't be early on. So, but yeah, I mean, there's guys that, you're not going to see. Again, Kenny Pickett was quarterback and then not. I'm willing, though, to take a flyer on Baker Mayfield and Matt Rule together. They both have something to prove. Mm-hmm. I think Baker has been, like when he was healthy a couple years ago, he led a Browns team to the playoffs when he had weapons and he was healthy. He didn't have weapons last year. All the running backs were hurt. Wide receivers were hurt. Odell Beckham that whole thing was a nightmare for them in Cleveland. He was playing with a busted shoulder. So while I'm not saying he's going to turn into Patrick Mahomes, I believe in him more than most do. Because when he's proven that when he has a roster around him that's not bad, and I don't think the Panthers roster is bad.
No, it's not.
I think that they have not had a good quarterback. He's the best one they've had, and there's no situation with him and Darnold. It's him. They say that, but
I don't have a lot of faith in their offense coordinator, Ben McAdoo, because the track record there isn't great.
The track record as an offensive coordinator is okay.
Okay.
The track record as a head coach was not good.
Okay.
So I think that will be different. Now, am I saying the Panthers are going to win the NFC South? No, not a chance.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if they do keep their heads above water because both Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield have something to prove.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a Baker hater. I like Baker, actually.
I'm not either. Yeah.
I like him. I think that he's kind of been, blamed for a lot of things that are not. Like last year, this is a dude that's playing with a busted up left shoulder.
Yeah.
He can't even pick it up, so he can't bounce his throws, and he played through all that, trying to win. So if it was somebody with a slightly different personality, for example, for years when Ben Roethlisberger did the same thing in Pittsburgh and didn't lead them to Super Bowls after he'd already won, Pittsburgh fans just slobbered all over the guy like, it's gritty. He's a tough son of a bitch, that guy. I love him. And then, the Baker kind of does the same thing, trying to keep his team going and be like, I don't like those commercials.
Yeah.
He's kind of a douche.
He does. Yeah.
It's like, all right. But, this is a dude who led to the Browns were in the AFC.
Not charged with any crimes as far as we know.
Yeah. The Browns were in the AFC title game with him.
Yeah.
And played a great game against the Chiefs. So let's not forget that he did that, and he was largely responsible for the success of that team that year. So give him similar situation. I think that he can do well. Again, he's in tier 4 and rightfully in tier 4.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's worth all the negativity that he gets. I don't think it's fair.
I did not know you had a Baker tattoo.
No, I just don't. Sometimes I don't understand why people get dumped on so much.
No, you're right.
And he is one of those guys.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for this. We're going to come back with more videos on more positions, including one specifically focused on the Cowboys and if any of their players will be worth it to you in fantasy football. This is the Fantasy Football Show Tidbit. Is that where we're sticking with that name?
Sounds good.
The little Fantasy Football Show Tidbit.
Morsel.
Nugget. All of that. Vote on it. Tell us what it should be called here on Sikkim 365 Radio and 365 Sports.